This Use a Play is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.
Welcome to the Barbados Today Evening Update for Tuesday, March 17th. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. We begin with the latest from the estimates debate in Parliament. Prime Minister Frondell Stewart says all outstanding national insurance checks and other government benefits will be cleared by the end of this week. In his contribution to the debate, the Prime Minister said he sympathizes with those who have had to wait on their monies and assured residents that payments will be made soon.
I spoke as recently as this morning with the Director of National Insurance, who assures me that corrective action continues to be taken and that a substantial dent would have been made in the problem by the end of this week. But let me say this again. Barbados, and we tend to forget this, Barbados is a small developing country, a fragile developing country in the Eastern Caribbean. I, as a CARICOM head of government, know that every single CARICOM government, every single CARICOM economy is under pressure of some kind.
Speaking on the issue of CLICO, the Prime Minister noted that it may have been better if the country had allowed the Oversight Committee to deal with the matter instead of paying what he described as dizzying millions on judicial managers.
My own view is, quite frankly, that we might have been better off if there had been more trust on the respective sides of this House and the Oversight Committee, which had been put in place by the late Honourable Member for St. John, had been kept in place. The millions of dollars that I'm hearing about that have had to be paid to judicial managers, I mean, dizzying millions, we wouldn't have had to pay, and we would have, in my view, have made a little more progress in this matter. But there was no trust, and people were more preoccupied with calling names and trying to besmirch the reputation of the late Honourable Member for St. John and trying to destroy the sanctity of his memory, all of those things. So I hope that, having agitated for the matter to be put under judicial management, that we'll now have the patience to wait to see it through.
The Prime Minister also assured that urgent and corrective action will be taken to address the road issues at White Hill. This after opposition MP for St. Andrew, George Payne, took issue with the manner in which the government has dealt with the plight of the people. Payne is particularly peeved that the Minister of Public Works abandoned the road with no provisions made for the people.
That was irresponsible to the height, Mr. Speaker. No assessment of the damage, no provision for a temporary road, no arrangements to house those persons who were immediately affected. And to this day, you have, Mr. Speaker, I mean, when I tell you that this is a national tragedy, it is a national tragedy.
Meantime, in her contribution to the debate, Shadow Minister of Health, Dr. Maria Agard, made yet another plea for the government to rectify the challenges being faced by the Queen Elizabeth Hospital.
From the day I entered these chambers, I have been hearing the Chief Executive Officer of the hospital say time and time again that the hospital needs no less than $190 million annually to finance its operations. And time again, we come here with estimates that only offer the hospital $150 million. That is a dereliction of duty. That is irresponsible. And I'm asking myself, the Minister of Health is a senior member of Cabinet. Surely he can negotiate and convince his Cabinet ministers that there should be a greater provision of resources to the hospital, because there is no commodity greater than life. We cannot continue to underfund the Queen Elizabeth Hospital at risk to health and limb.
In other news, Barbados' ambassador to CARICOM, Bobby Morris, says higher education is not producing the returns the island needs for increased productivity. Ambassador Morris, who served on the National Advisory Commission on Education, told a National Union of Public Workers symposium that most university graduates in Barbados are now occupying clerical and administrative jobs. And he says critical production and innovation for national development and growth is left to a small minority.
Out of that 31% of persons with degrees, I would wager to say that most of them perform clerical and administrative functions. They hold jobs, as I call it. They don't necessarily add anything major to the economy. And that if you study your society very well, you will know that there's a handful of people who push economic development in Barbados in terms of entrepreneurship, new ideas, etc.
One of the island's senior citizens now has over 3 million reasons to smile after collecting his jackpot prize earlier today. The lucky lotto winner is a 76-year-old Melvin Alves of Ruby St. Philip. Alves usually spends about $200 a week on the lottery, but says this is the first time he has ever won so big. He says he intends to keep most of his winnings and share the rest with family and friends. 27-year-old Jamal Skeete of Bedford Lane, Greenfield, St. Michael, has been formally charged with burglary following last weekend's fatal incident in Bank Hall. 57-year-old Selwyn Knight was killed and his 27-year-old son, Julian Knight, shot in the back as they tried to apprehend Skeete. So far, no one has been charged in connection with Sunday's shooting. Police say 2 electronic tablets have been recovered.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, we're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
To news from the region, an employee of Antigua and Barbuda's VC Bird International Airport did not die as a result of dengue. That's according to health authorities in the country, who say that tests done by the Trinidad-based Caribbean Public Health Agency were negative. However, officials are still awaiting to find out the cause of death for 2 other airport employees, even as they assured that vector control activities will continue at the airport. And finally, on the international scene, the search for remaining bodies from the Air Asia plane crash in the Java Sea came to an end today. Air Asia lost contact with Flight 8501 on December 28th last year on its way to Singapore, with 162 people on board. The search recovered 106 bodies. 56 people are still unaccounted for. And on that note, we come to the end of our Barbados Today evening update, but we will be back again at 7 tomorrow morning. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media and bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune in to Channel 101 online TV, as well as Mix 96.9 FM to get the latest news and sports. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. To have a great evening.
This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.